Alrighty. What up? It's Shankster94, and welcome to my 34th monthly Q&A. I am your host, the Gamer Shankster, also known as Shankster94. Great place for you guys to ask questions, receive answers, and communicate with each other. So yeah, they're approaching the day where these are no longer going to be a case on the YouTube channel. It's like, got this month's, April's, and then finally May's. And then I am not doing them anymore on YouTube. I will do little Q&As maybe on my Discord following that point. But otherwise, yeah, no more YouTube Q&As after May. So yeah, might want to live it up while they're still going. So, who do we got here? We got Frey, we got Lakota Soldier 84, and we got, of course, new number one, Feargale the Fearless. Alright. I'm a little tired, guys, because, yeah, I'm doing this kind of early, and I hope you all remember to spring forward your clocks, because, yeah, daylight saving happened. Yo, Josh Cool 124, what's up, man? Yep, this is a throwback classic Q&A, just me, and it's going to be the standard 2 hours, so, yeah. So, I won't start the timer, of course, until the first question pops in. I probably should get myself some water sitting right there. I might as well grab that. Beargale, you thought you were late for work today, but when you got in, you were told you could go home. Okay. Well, awesome that you can make the Q&A because of that. Alright, Josh Cool. That's a legitimate question, so I'll go ahead and start the 2-hour timer now. Alright. So, how's my day been so far? I mean, pretty much spent it just getting ready for this Q&A, so it's hard to say yet. Like I said earlier, I'm just a little tired right now. So, I'm a little groggy maybe, but it's going alright so far. Yeah, definitely not too many people right now, which is okay, because it is, like, 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. for people who forgot to spring forward. or for people who don't follow that law, because I know not every U.S. state follows that law, and probably not every... I don't know if other countries follow that whole thing either. Anything planned for this month? Not particularly, especially involving YouTube and whatnot. After that tetralogy, man, I don't got really any special projects in line. Just finish that damn full play of Outbreak already. That's what I'm about. Alright, Fairgale, if Resident Evil didn't exist, what horror franchise would be my favorite? That's a good question, actually, and one I never put a whole lot of thought into. Right off the top of my head, I think Dead Rising probably would be my favorite. Or Silent Hill, maybe. Yeah, I would go with one of those two. Definitely, because realize Silent Hill is a really close competitor to Resident Evil. You know, the iconic enemies just like it, like Pyramid Head, for example. Or maybe the Dino Crisis series, actually. But without Resident Evil, I'm not sure Dino Crisis would exist. I know there's a whole freaking war online about the whole Exoprimal that's coming out. How it's totally slapped to the face of Dino Crisis fans. You know? Josh Cool, some people think we should just get rid of daylight saving. By the way, it's saving, not savings. But, yeah. What are my stances on it? Yeah, I am for the abolishment of it, honestly. Just keep the time the same across the board at all times. Because, yeah, people lose sleep over it. It has statistically been proven that people's mindset changes after constantly changing the clock like that. So, yeah, I think we can do without it, honestly. Now, there's people who want it to just be gone, and others who want the saving part to be permanent, meaning once you spring forward, then that's just time for all time after that. I don't really care for either really. I just want it to stay the same for the rest of all time, like at some point. So yeah, this is probably going to be a pretty slow going Q&A, which is fine. So the other things that I have in mind for the channel, even though I just said I'm totally focusing on the full play of Outbreak. I mentioned it before that once that full play is completed, if you participated in the poll that I hosted on both YouTube and Twitter, like about a month ago or so now, I said, would you like to see me enter a second remaking era? Which would definitely start with a remastered weapon review of the OG trilogy of Resident Evil games. It's definitely something So based on the poll results of both YouTube and Twitter, most people actually would like to see me enter a second remaking era. So that is what I'm going to do, ultimately. Virgil, how goes the Outbreak full play? It's going well right now. You just saw I uploaded the next episode yesterday, or published it at least. And funny thing is, I recorded that episode and the next one pretty much back to back, because the Hive and Very Hard, because I stuck to objective, was also fairly simple and quick. So, yeah. So for Hellfire, though, well, not exactly against, but one person has recommended maybe I should do partners, the AI partners for Hellfire at Very Hard mode, because, getting the whole gold key and silver key, when you don't have them, you have to get both of them yourself, while there's a chance they could get one for you in Very Hard, maybe if you're quick enough, which I would be, since I'm sticking purely to objective for Very Hard mode in Outbreak now. So far, Outbreak, the scenario has been the toughest in Very Hard mode. Josh Cool, you've always been interested in what type of PCs and laptops I've had over the years since you see me talking about PC parts. That's good. So, let me think. Yeah, my first actual device that was mine and, not my family's. So, I'm going to disregard, like, the desktops that we had. My first device, it's like in 2013 or 14, it was a Toshiba Satellite, I think it was called. Yeah. Man, we're going back to 2014, even though it's not too long ago. It's considerable to me now, but yeah, it was a Toshiba Satellite. I can't remember what the specs were. It was definitely like Intel HD graphics. It wasn't its own graphics card or something like that, and it was probably okay for those times, but it was definitely low end. It was cheap, I think. I can't really say much more about that. The next laptop that I got was a Dell. Damn, I can't remember the name. I don't know if it was an Inspiron. It was a laptop too. But I do know that one had... Yeah, that one also had Intel HD graphics integrated. See, I've had a total of 3 laptops, and then this desktop. So I can remember very clearly my third and final laptop, which I still technically have in the other room, but I haven't opened it in like over a year. It's an Asus, and that one actually had a graphics card. It was an old NVIDIA GeForce RX 940, something like that. Definitely not a GTX. So still low end kind of on the graphic spectrum, but it's an improvement. It was on sale. It was a solid $1,000 when I think its normal value was more like $1,500, something like that. So really good deal. But yeah, had an RX 940. Had 8 gigs of RAM. No, that was my second laptop. My second laptop had 8 gigs of RAM, and my latest laptop had 12 gigs of RAM. 12 gigs of RAM. What was the CPU? Do I remember? An Intel. I think it was an Intel i5. Can't remember the exact model, but yeah. So it was decent. Screen size was 15.6 inches. Let's see. Had 500 gigs of memory, of storage. All right. But yeah, this, of course, is the easiest thing to remember because it's my current device. And I could literally look up the specs right now, but I do have them, like, pretty much memorized. This has an i7 7700K CPU, an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070 graphics card. Has both a solid-state drive and a hard disk drive. It's like a total of maybe well, the SSD I think is 1 terabyte, or no, 500 gigs maybe, and the hard disk drive is 1 terabyte for sure. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Let me see what else. This is 16 gigs of RAM. Did I miss any specs? Got the CPU. I gave you the CPU, the GPU, the storage, and the RAM. So, memory. So, and I'm using, of course, just a standard 1080p 60 hertz monitor. It's kind of old, actually. All right. So there you go. That's as much as I can remember, honestly. So yeah, the first laptop was like in 2013. The second laptop was 2016-ish. And then my latest laptop was 2017. Also, Josh Cool, what type of emulators do I have installed on my PC? Also, how does the DS emulator that I test out for Resident Evil Deadly Silence? All right, so let me answer your second question first because it's easier, kind of. So how is the DS emulator, which is Desumeme, I think it's called, something like that. Yeah, Desumeme. And yeah, with the internal settings that I like researched and discovered how to up-res the clarity of DS games, which in my case, it's the only DS game I'm going to play is Deadly Silence, probably. It works really well, in my opinion. And you have layout options. You could have top screen, bottom screen, or you could have left or right. And you could swap them on either case. You can full screen one of them. So, yeah, I think the layout is pretty good. It has a ton of features, and it's great. Now, all the emulators I have on my desktop, I kind of have to visit my desktop to really know off the top of my head. But, yeah, I got quite a few emulators. So, if I go in order of, like, time of the console or the device that I'm emulating, the earliest emulator I have, do I have, yeah, I have a Super Nintendo emulator. It's called Z-SNES. I have a Game Boy Color emulator called KIGB. Now, I have 2 PlayStation 1 emulators. I got the old EPSX-E, which was one of the greatest emulators for a while, but that got totally creamed by this newer emulator called DuckStation, which a lot of people talk about for PS1 these days. So that's the one I use now for PlayStation 1. Now, oh, here we go. Who's this? Shankster is a clown. Okay. You will burn my world down, and you will call it peace. Yeah, a narcissistic asshat like yourself would call that peace. You don't know what peace is, honestly. You never have, and you never will. But thank you, man, for the $5 super chat, which I'm surprised you're still giving away, because from what I hear, you're desperate for cash, buddy. With the fuel prices, it's hurting you bad, isn't it? And I'm so happy it is, because it's not affecting me that much. But go away. All right. So, back to the question, Josh Cool. Let me see. So, yeah, the emulators, back to that. So, yeah. After PlayStation, I have a Nintendo 64 emulator, Project 64. Pretty great. Then, getting slightly newer, I do have the DS emulator that I already mentioned, and then I do have a PS2 emulator, PCSX2. One of the best ones today, for sure. It's been one of the best for a while, I think. And that is exactly what I use to play Resident Evil Outbreak. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, of course, I do also have the Dolphin emulator for both GameCube and Wii. So I play the seamless HD version of Resident Evil 2 and 3 on that for GameCube, and then I also have Umbrella Chronicles and Darkside Chronicles, both of which have, like, gecko codes, as they're called, that will play the game back at 60 frames per second, which is freaking awesome. Those are games that definitely could use a visual tune-up too when it comes to the weapon reviews and the melee move reviews, for that matter. Even though the melee move I've done 3 times. Alright, so that answers the emulator question. Good one, Josh. Cool. Alright, Fergal, when I get myself a brand new gaming desktop, what brand would I choose? Well, the thing is, I don't think I'm going to go with a pre-built. So, I'm not sure if I can say what brand it's going to be. Because, like I said, I don't think I'm going to get a pre-built. I'm going to build it myself with all the components. Alright. Fairgale, since I have DuckStation, why not delete the other emulator? It's probably because the other emulator has a ton of save states for a lot of the games, so if I ever need to do something on the fly, I mean, those save states could still come into play. I don't know. I would just have to play, like, all the games I have, all the ISOs I have again, and make all those save states over again, and I don't really feel like it. Alright. Josh Cool, do I plan on fully switching to PC gaming, or will consoles and PC both coexist? I'm never gonna fully switch to PC gaming. I don't care for that whole PC Master Race bullshit. But, no, I'm definitely integrating it into my gaming a little bit. They're gonna coexist, definitely. There's some advantages with consoles over PC and vice versa. Hey, Frey. Yeah, that douchebag came in here. It's like he said, he's not gonna stop. I guess I'm telling him in the ground. So he's just gonna troll away and keep giving me free money. It's no harm done on me. He's the fool here. Frey, favorite theory in the Resident Evil series? Favorite theory? To be honest, I'm blanking when it comes to theories within the franchise. Like, can you give me a couple examples of what a theory is? It's like, I know the definition of a theory, but I can't connect theory to Resident Evil. Fair Gale, that's totally you. You think PC and consoles should exist in peace. Yeah, honestly, the console wars are so stupid. Freaking, just look at Wyatt. He pathetically trashes Sony. It's like, even though a lot of their, even if there were shenanigans, they're still a successful company, no matter how you splice it. And Nintendo, same thing. It's like he sucks their cock so much, but it's like they're not perfect either. Hey, Silent Pain. Josh Cool, what's my history with phones and other portable tech over the years? That's another good one. So, my first phone ever was just an old Samsung Intensity flip phone. That was back in like 2012, 2013. Had that for maybe a couple years, and then I got my first smartphone, which was the iPhone 6S. Yeah, iPhone 6S. And that was pretty good. That was my first integration with like a. I mean, okay, before the phones, I did have an iPod Touch, which is kind of an iPhone precursor, something like that, and you can get phone apps on it to make it a phone. But yeah, my first real smartphone was the iPhone 6S, and after that, I switched over to Droid temporarily. We got the what was it? The Galaxy S7 after the iPhone 6. Had that for a little bit, and then I was desperately missing the Apple iOS, so I went back to iPhone, and when I got the iPhone 8, it was just the regular one, iPhone 8. Had that for a long time, actually. That was my old blue phone, if y'all remember that. It had the blue OtterBox case on it, and yeah, I had that for like nearly 5 years. And then, just recently, like a few months ago, I upgraded to my current phone, which is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, top of the line. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, I like that question. And it was easier for me to answer than the PC. uh, Frey, a theory like the guy at the end of Ours New Light being Ethan and similar things. Okay. So it's like I don't know a whole lot of those types of things, so it'd be hard for me to answer what my favorite is. So now that I get what you sort of mean with it, it's like, oh, was this the case? Could this been that, um yeah, I'm sorry, man. I can't really give a good answer to that question since that's not an element I really focus on. Frey. Okay. You're Be careful, man. I mean, like I know because of how slow the chat is, it's really hard for you not to be the only one chatting since you got stuff to say, but it's like you should keep all of that within a single comment. Don't just keep doing stuff. Don't fill the chat like that, man. It is coming off as spammy, unfortunately. But how long do I think it will take me to finish the full play of Outbreak File 1? At the rate I'm going, see, again, recording is super easy. It's editing that just drains me, and it takes longer than it needs to, probably. It's like, my average rate now is I get a one upload about once every 10 days or something like that. But with the amount of playthroughs we have left, which is just 5, we're going to be done with Outbreak File 1 relatively soon. I should be done with it completely, hopefully, like by the end of May, at worst. Hopefully I can hold to that prediction, though, because I have failed at it before. Nice lighting, badass phone, darn it. Do I think I will ever upgrade my PC? Yeah, one day. Did I... Part of me wants to say, did I skip a question somewhere? No. No, I didn't. Okay. Hey, Farmer Mario. But So yeah, I'm definitely gonna upgrade my PC, and I could give you the specs that I'm predicting that I'm gonna get, or the PC components. If I use today's available components, because seriously, it's still gonna be way down the road before I get myself a new PC, because that's a hefty purchase, especially with what I have planned. But with today's components, my dream PC today would be for the CPU. It's really close between Intel and AMD right now. But the current gen of Intel did sort of floor AMD, while AMD was flooring Intel like prior to that. So Intel, it would definitely be the Intel Core i9-12900K. It's like top of the line right there. It's a 16 core, 32 thread. But yeah, CPU would have the GeForce 3090, or like the upcoming 3090 Ti, 3080 Ti. Well, 3080 Ti is available now, but yeah. Something like that. Definitely really high-end graphics card. Would minimum 32 gigs of RAM. I'm probably gonna aim more closer to 64, to be honest. Let me see. What else? I want it to have like 3 SS M.2 form factored solid state drives. All 3 at least a terabyte. But it's like one of the SSDs I plan on getting is like up to 8 terabytes. So yeah, I'm gonna have a ton of storage because I'm in the 4K game now. I need that storage. What else? And then yeah, I'm definitely gonna have like a UHD monitor, possibly up to 144 hertz. So yeah. Frey, you can't wait for a new full play after all these years. Yeah, well, the thing is, after Outbreak's full play is completed, I'm going to put the full plays into hiatus again, and I'm gonna start a second remaking era, starting with the original OG trilogy of games for the weapon reviews. So after this Outbreak full play is done, man, I am sorry to say full plays won't continue probably for a while. Exiler Card Helsing, hey. Silent Pain, compared to Outbreak File 1, how long do I think Outbreak 2 will take overall, if I had to guess? Well, once I start Outbreak File 2, I'm hoping that I don't freaking break it up like I did Outbreak File 1 with all these other projects. I mean, but I can't predict what's going to happen. All I can say is I'm going to try to dedicate to it better than I did Outbreak File 1, so it could probably take up to a year for Outbreak File 2. Yeah. Josh Cool, do I use any specific music platform, or do I just use YouTube for music? I do kind of use a specific platform. It's called freeplaymusic.com. It's changed a little bit over the years, like with licensing and whatnot, but yeah, it has free to use music that as long as you only use it on YouTube, it's free, but if you distribute it anywhere else, apparently it costs you a little bit. Frey, would I ever do a tier list on how difficult every Resident Evil game is, just for fun, LOL? It's definitely not something I ever thought of, and it's not an existing tier list on tiermaker.com, which doesn't mean anything. I mean, I can make my own tier list if I wanted to, but, well, that's not something I've ever thought about. But yeah, it would be ranking in terms of difficulty, not just how much I like it. It would be kind of fun. Yeah. But it's definitely not something I'm going to remember to do and probably won't ever do. 64 gigs of RAM, that's a lot, but well worth it. Yeah, for the reason I'm going with such high RAM is because I think it would lessen the rendering times of like my 4K content and whatnot. I know RAM is mostly for It's like having multiple windows open on a browser, for example, which I don't do a whole lot, but that's why, yeah, I'm capping at 64. It's either going to be 32 or 64. I thought about 128 at one point, but I think that's way too much for what I'm doing right now. Maybe when I get into the 8K game, will I consider 128? But yeah, 64 is a good max point right now. Okay, Frey, what's my current PC's maximum storage? For example, yours is 1 terabyte of storage. What about yours? My maximum storage, yeah, is the hard disk drive that's in it, which is a 1 terabyte storage. Hard disk drive, yeah. Yep, remaking era. That's also hype. Yeah, I'm gonna do the things that probably a lot of people at this point would love to see me do, and that is do a brand, like, remastered weapon reviews for Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3. The OGs. Because those weapon reviews, I mean, being the first 3 games, they're the oldest weapon reviews on the channel. They're few of the only weapon reviews that I never remade already, so yeah, they really need a tune-up. And, you know, with these HD mods that are coming out on emulators and, you know, the PC versions, it's like, I could really do some great HD content on those old-ass games. Fair Gale, and when we do go back to full plays, we're still going to be playing Outbreak. Ah, I know, you want to get out of Raccoon City. Why, Frey? As Raccoon City is the best city in the world. Was. The keyword is was. Josh, cool. Which Resident Evil game do I think is easiest to survive in? Easiest to survive. Survivor is pretty dang easy, honestly. Because, like, a lot of the time, those enemies or zombies, they just grab you for a second, and you could still just run past them. What's a recent music track that has been stuck in my head? Well, are you talking music in general? Like, well, you said soundtrack, so, but any soundtrack from video games, movies, like, I think you need to fine-tune your question a little bit before I answer. Do I think I would survive in Raccoon City? I mean, if my current knowledge of it applied to a real-life situation, maybe? Silent Pain with... There's absolutely nothing in that comment. That's funny. How does that even happen? You just put spaces? Josh, cool. Best video game licensed soundtrack. So any video game soundtrack. You know what? I freaking love 007 GoldenEye on the N64's soundtrack, man. That every single mission almost has a different theme. There's only like yeah. Every mission has a different theme. Yep. And it's like they're almost all of them are rockin' or, you know, catchy. Yeah. And they relate to some of the objectives of the scenario. So, yeah. Lakota Soja 84. Have I ever played DayZ? No. I have not. Okay, right, here we go. Music. Something like Save Your Tears or Thinking Out Loud. Music like that began any kind of... Okay, so music in general. Like artistic music, lyrical, everything. Yeah, actually, there has been some recent tracks. It left my head like yesterday now. Now I'm going to have trouble remembering, but there was... Honestly, it's probably Without You by the Kid Laroi, I want to say. Silent Pain. Must have pressed a button, didn't intend to. That's never happened to you on a live stream before. Frey, what's my favorite thing to do in the Discord server? Is watch you guys talk. Seriously. Literally. That's it. So I'm hardly very active myself in it because, again, the point of it was for my community to converse with each other. So yeah, every single day I'm checking the server and seeing what you guys are saying. Josh Cool, oh, you mean licensed songs like real artists and put in the game like GTA games or Tony Hawk? Oh, fuck. Okay. Man, let's see here then. Licensed soundtrack, you know, with lyrics and actual songs put into video games. You know, Tony Hawk is a great example. I'm not gonna lie. I know of quite a few songs thanks to that game franchise. You know what? I need to turn that light off back there. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And I could lower this one just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Honestly, man, yeah, it's gonna be one of the Tony Hawk games in that regard. Which one specifically, though? I should pick one. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, man, has really awesome soundtrack. It's like almost every single track is... Honestly, the first 4 games, the original tetralogy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, all of them had really awesome licensed soundtracks. Once Underground and Further began, it started going a little south. It's like Underground 1 had great rock music but shitty pop, while Underground 2 had great pop music but shitty rock music. It's weird. And then American Wasteland actually had some memorable soundtracks. But yeah, ultimately it was the tetralogy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater that had the best ones, and out of those 4, I want to say 2 had the absolute best. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. All right. Now we're getting some questions here. Frey, how do I intend to do the last Q&A? Well, I'll include the users in the Discord servers as well. So, simple. I'm going to screen share the Discord server. I'm just right on the window here. And whoever's there will be featured. Not going to try to get a specific layout like I've done with guests in the past. It's just going to be... I'm going to be in it with you guys, so that's where I'm going to be seen as well. So I'm literally like screen sharing my Discord server is what I'm going to do. I won't have any like social media links down there. It's like whoever participates throughout the entirety of that Q&A, because again, I plan on it being 5 hours long. And yeah, so people can come in and step out as they please during the Q&A. And yeah, with 5 hours, I would hope a lot of people would have a good opportunity. Need to decide on a date and time still, which I'm going to ask that question again in the server eventually. I'm actually going to list dates, possible dates that could happen, and I'm going to ask for emoji reactions depending on which date works best for you. And whichever one gets the most reactions will be the decided date for it. And then once we have a date set up, then I'll do the same for times. And that's how I'm going to narrow it out. And that's how I'm going to decide the best time. Because I want the most amount of people who can show up to show up. All right. Silent Pain, from what you can reliably remember, what childhood game movie was really good at the time in the past, but has not aged well at all into modern day? That's a good question. Probably the first Mortal Kombat live action movie. Yeah. I mean, I still love it today just because it was a childhood, like, awesome movie for me. But yeah, it is looked poorly upon. The second one is way worse, of course, but just both of them are kind of corny in some ways. I still haven't seen the newer Mortal Kombat movie on HBO Max, and wonder if people should would you recommend I do watch it? Frey, you're getting kind of hungry, so you want to talk about food. Favorite pizza topping? Well, my preferred pizza is just cheese, so cheese, I guess. Does pineapple belong in pizza or not? I've been asked this so many freaking times. I'm indifferent. So I'm not saying it is or it isn't. Yeah. Whatever you like on your pizza, man, put it on your damn pizza. That's what I say. No one has the right to judge what you put on your pizza. Least favorite pizza topping? Probably peppers. I'm not much of a pepper guy, but I would still eat it even if it came on it. Fire Mario, what is my favorite non-horror part of any horror game? For example, the concert part in Alan Wake, which is one of your favorite moments in any games. Favorite non-horror part in any horror game? Oh, man. That's... Ugh. That one requires me to think, because it's like Resident Evil alone is an expansive series, so I gotta pluck it from that. Man. It's like there's plenty of moments during Resident Evil games, even the classic ones, where we're not in the middle of a perilous situation, and there's some funny ass dialogue that's exchanged. That's what I want to say. Is when there's is when there's bantering going on when it's not in the middle of a situation. An example for me is the exchange between Carlos and Jill in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Foxy ladies. Frey, any go-to dessert when I'm in the mood to get one? Smoothie. Yeah. Jamba Juice. Fergil, you will definitely be at the last Q&A. I would hope. The last Q&A sounds like it's going to be the last. Yeah, with what I have planned, I hope for. It's like, there has been at least one time now where I was in the Discord server and I actually joined a VC and, well, had a few people in it and I was saying what's up, and then a few more people joined in, and it's like, most of you were there. You know what I'm talking about. And that was a great night. And that's what I want to happen for the Q&A. It was precursor to my tetralogy. That's what it was. You definitely will be as well, Frey. How many monthly Q&As left until the end? Maze is the last one. So this one that we're doing now, the next one, and then Maze. So March, April, May. So after this one, just 2 left. Hey, Hellmaster. Frey, what makes a best character for me? A character who's really likable, and whenever they're on screen, they always steal the spotlight. Best character... It's their actions throughout whatever franchise they're in. And yeah, screen time does play a big role. If they're on screen a lot, then they are one of the best, obviously. It's pretty much what you said, kind of. She's like, Chris is my favorite character of all time, even though about halfway through the series now, he breaks a little bit, and he's a little edgy, but I don't know. He's still my favorite over Leon. Stop Rickroll. Fergal, Dallas has been having fun on the memes and media channel on the server. Oh, don't I know it? It's like that's how he ups his rank now, is through the memes and media channel. Feargale, if I could only have one of the two in a Resident Evil game by itself, which would it be? Puzzles or combat? Puzzles. Puzzles. As melee move fanatic as I am, I appreciate puzzles more than action. Combat gets actiony. Fire Mario Foxy Ladies is Carlos's line in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. All those Foxy Ladies like my accent. It drives them crazy. Frey, we should have way more VCs in the server. They're so fun, especially when so many people join. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know other ones to make at this point, really. People would have to put in the suggestions channel what other VCs they would like. Because, yeah, the Converse is kind of the main lobby of voice channels, of course. It's where anyone could go to just have a chat. TGS Studio, of course, is when I am actually doing something, maybe streaming, and people want to join. There's Alt Game Chat, of course, which it's for if you want to use an alternative channel for game chat when you're playing a game together where you can't do voice chat that way. And then there's BGM, which specifically is used to play background music. Yeah. Feargale, you remember you were about ready to go to bed when you saw so many people in VC, so you couldn't help but join. Of course, right? When you see that many people, it is tempting. Talking about streaming the server right there. Frey, do I think the Resident Evil 3 OG ending could ever be topped as my favorite Resident Evil ending of all time? I'm sure it could be if, these newer games just got more creative with it. I don't know. It's just the OG, the original explosion, the freaking wiping of Raccoon City is just so iconic. And they've rinsed and repeated it a few times since, but none of those explosions come close in comparison, in my opinion. It's like Resident Evil Outbreak is a close second. The way it depicts that explosion, it's pretty good with the choir in the background and everything, and the hordes of zombies. Just yeah. It is a close second, but no, I don't think it'll ever be topped. Fairgale, just know when you play this Resident Evil game with just puzzles, there will be no enemies, but there will still be traps. Well, I would still have a puzzle enemy-less game than an over-the-top action flick. In my opinion, what are some of the decent good points of Resident Evil 6? Silent Pain. The first on-screen interaction with Leon and Chris is one of the best. As convoluted as it is, I mean, it has insane replayability with all those scenarios. I think the Agent Hunt, even though I didn't really enjoy that much, was an interesting mode to add in. Like, it's the first time I think you got the role as an enemy. Well, even though at Outbreak, technically you turn into a zombie, but I don't think you control it. But yeah, those are some of the good points. Frey, to someone who's just getting into the Resident Evil franchise, which Resident Evil game do I recommend them play first? I've answered this several times too, but definitely the first remake. The first remake is the best game to play if you're getting into the franchise. Definitely. What's the main Resident Evil game with the worst uninteresting story in the franchise? Main Resident Evil game with the worst story. Okay. Um, 6. Resident Evil 6. Yeah. Like I said, it's convoluted. Best part about the Resident Evil gameplay format, like puzzles, for example. Um, Puzzles is definitely good. It's up there. I don't know if it's my favorite or what I consider the best. It's the horror elements. It's not being able to see what's ahead of you because of the fixed camera angles, just the darkened parts of, the mansion and Raccoon City and all these different creatures, BOWs hunting you. Yeah. Hellmaster, did I know that Cindy's virus gauge goes up whenever she gets hit? There's a video that shows how horrible Cindy's virus gauge is in file number 1. So that doesn't happen with every other character. I feel like as long as your virus is going up when you get hit, it does spike. I don't think it's only for Cindy. I want to say that happens to all characters. Unless hers is more significant. I mean, unless you just took an antivirus, I'm pretty sure, yeah, your virus goes up or spikes when you get hit with something. Hey, Manny Stovall, haven't seen you in some time, actually. Feargale, you think you're going to head off since you literally have no more questions to ask and you need to take a nap to get your hour of sleep back. See you guys on the server. Alright, man. Peace out. Glad you joined. And yeah, we'll probably guest star you again in the next Q&A. Manny, what do I think of VR? I really haven't experienced a whole lot of it myself right now, so I don't really have a valid opinion of it. I do want to experience Resident Evil 4 VR, of course, but have to buy the Oculus, which is still not in my radar right now. It does for the other survivors, but Cindy is the worst. Okay, see, that makes sense. So her virus gauge spikes the most when you get hit. And based on what you said, yeah, it is pretty bad. All the more reason I don't like Cindy that much. Cindy! Idiot Cindy. Alright, Frey, you were about to ask something about enemies in the Resident Evil franchise, but you just remember the baby has stolen the spotlight is the scariest thing ever. Yeah. You remember my answer to that question. Have I ever gotten burnt out from playing Outbreak so much? A little bit. Yeah, Outbreak is my favorite and most played spin-off in the Resident Evil franchise. So yeah, I've definitely suffered some burnout with it, especially with this full play, unfortunately. Outbreak was one I was always nervous about when it came to the full plays, all the way up until when I started it. Because it's a complex game. And sure, I think I adequately made a good game plan of it with how I'm fully playing it, but it's like, I know some people who are maybe a little more OCD and think I should show absolutely everything. Yeah, I probably am falling short on that front, but I'm gonna do a video on SP items. I'm also gonna do a video on all of Alyssa's unlocks with her lockpick, like, between all the difficulties. I actually want to do a separate video on that. Outbreak is going to go out kind of like Resident Evil 3 Nemesis did in the full play, where there's going to be a few extra videos before I actually do the epilogue and conclude it. So, yeah. And then the same will happen for File 2, obviously, because that's almost exactly the same game, just extended. Manny, RE4 has been ported to so many consoles. Oh yeah, Resident Evil 4 is easily the most reported game in the franchise. The only console that never got Spotlight on or was never on, which was the first generation, it was for its time, was the original Xbox. Frey, did I Did you eat something before the stream? No, I have not. I did not eat anything. What do I think of Resident Evil Dead Aim, Manny? Out of the Survivor series, it's the best, but its dialogue is almost worse than Resident Evil 1. Not as bad as Survivor, but still pretty bad. The gameplay is really interesting. I like how it plays in third person, but you aim in first person. It's the first game to be in 60 frames per second, or, well, noticeably, anyway. So, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Both the hand grenade and the fire grenade that were cut from Resident Evil 2 ended up in Resident Evil 4. I didn't really know that fact off the top of my head that Resident Evil 2 intended to have grenades, but obviously that was the case. Worst spin-off Resident Evil game, Frey. Come on, you should know this by now. It's Umbrella Corps. Hellmaster, which enemy boss was the worst in Resident Evil Dead Aim? Either those hunter... Well, no, they weren't hunters. See, there was a hunter in Dead Aim, but I'm not thinking about that. They were these little things that were just hopping around when you reached the final section of the game. It's either that or the freaking... the thing that shoots water missiles at you in the sewers. It has a specific name, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Yeah. Frey, what's the Resident Evil game with the best gameplay in the franchise? The best gameplay? Oh man, that is really debatable, but for me, it's Resident Evil 2. OG. You love cut content in video games, Manny. Yeah, it's always fun to look at. Frey, which is scarier, Nemesis or the Regenerators? Nemesis, because he's actually looking for you. Regenerators you come across, then they target you, but they're not actively looking for you. Frey, Gaiden is better than Umbrella Corps? Oh, LOL. Yeah, in my opinion, it is. What are my thoughts on Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City? If it weren't regarded as a Resident Evil game, it is a pretty decent shooter multiplayer game. Yeah. But as a Resident Evil game, it's garbage. And thank the Lord it's not canon. And is totally regarded as a what-if scenario. According to the rumors, the Resident Evil 4 remake will take inspiration from Resident Evil 3.5. Yeah, both 1.5 and 3.5 deserve, like, much better spotlight. Although I am seeing other YouTubers, like, really bring those games out a little more lately. So, it's possible. Well, 1.5 yet a lot, but 3.5 I barely see at all. It's the Hookman version, right? Or something like that. The creepy... There's so many versions of 4. I don't know which one is regarded as 3.5 specifically. I just know, like, code names for them. There's the what became Devil May Cry. Then the blimp version or something like that, and then the Hookman version. Yeah. Which one of those is 3.5? Hellmaster in 1.5 had massive load of unused stuff. Leon and Elza would have had 3 different types of handguns and maybe 2 different shotguns. Yeah. Manny, the handgun that Leon is holding in the Hookman version of 3.5 is the 6-hour P226, a gun that later appeared in Resident Evil 5. Yeah. Frey, 3.5 is the one in the castle with ghosts and stuff. Yeah, so the the creepy Hookman. It's like it's psychoactive or hallucinogenic or something like that. Yeah. The Hookman version of 4 was kind of Capcom's answer to Silent Hill. Yeah, that would make sense. All right. We are nearing the halfway point of this Q&A. I've got 1 hour and 1 minute left. So, decent. Definitely is a slower Q&A of a couple recent ones, but it's all good. Again, I am doing it at slightly earlier than normal. But the reason being, I feel like it's at this point in time where most people are, who follow me anyway, are awake. I would hope, because if you're on the other side of the world, I mean, it's only approaching midnight or something like that, and some people might still be awake. I know it's Sunday, so maybe not, but Hellmaster, in one of the 3.5 trailers, you can see Leon firing a Magnum one-handed. Ooh, that would have been a nice headshot. There was going to be the Smith & Wesson M500 in Resident Evil Outbreak, but it was cut. But it later appeared in Resident Evil 5. That would have been interesting. It's 6 p.m. for you, Fire Mario. Yeah, see? Frey, it's 11 a.m. for you, so... Yeah, you're only 1 hour ahead of me, so... So are you Mountain Time? Because it's 10 a.m. for me. The blimp version of RE4 had the black fog. You right? Silent Pain getting lunch. You'll be back in 20 minutes or so. Yep, I should still be going. Hellmaster. It was removed because of it was anachronistic. Anachronistic to the games, Manny, even though it just hit the market around 2003. Manny's gotta go. All right, man. See ya. I feel like for most people it would be 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. For people in the U.S., yeah, right now it's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, but yeah, I got people in other countries watching me too, like Fire Mario, for example. I'm pretty sure. I need to come up with something. It's like, what do I do when I'm like caught up and it's really slow going? What I gotta talk about something, obviously. Fire Mario, you're French, yeah. Merci. Frey, most embarrassing moment in a Thanksgiving for me. I haven't really had any embarrassing moments, really, honestly. Not during Thanksgiving specifically. Unfortunately, Thanksgiving is like, it's a great holiday, but I personally in life have never went crazy over it. It's not my favorite. So I don't have something to adequately answer that question, Frey. So I'm gonna skip it. Howmaster, you just sent the video about Cindy's virus gauge. Y'all can watch it after the stream. No need to waste time watching it during the Q&A, right? Wi-Fi police. Yo, man, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you, sir? Frey. Also, yeah, you are from Mountain Time Zone thing. Yeah, it makes sense with where you're at. Wi-Fi police. Did you show up in the Tetralogy series? Part of me feels like you did. I know you've been on recent live streams before. Yeah, another live stream that would be kind of ideal now with how long it's been since I did the first one of its kind is another tier list. I would like to do another tier list of some sort. My thing was I wanted to do one for the characters of Resident Evil, which is much bigger than just the games themselves, you know. But yeah, I would like to do like a character tier list. That would be interesting to do some point in the near future. Hmm. Gotcha, Wi-Fi. Okay, yeah, it's starting to come back to me. Yeah, did you like it? What was your favorite of the tetralogy? Frey, you like the idea of the character tier list? Yeah, would be a pretty good one. Hellmaster, a weapon tier list. Yeah, that would be a pretty fun one to do too. See, the thing is, I only want to do tier lists though of with ones that exist already. Did you guys see that white orb that just passed by me? That was interesting. But yeah, if a weapon tier list became available, I would love to do it. I'm not sure how if I want to make my own tier list like that. That would take a ton of time to like get all the photos procured and whatnot. Resident Evil 3, Leon S. Kennedy. Oh yeah, Resident Evil 3. That was your favorite part of the tetralogy, I'm assume. I know that playthrough unfortunately took longer than it really should have. I should have gone much quicker. It's because of how I play the game. I'm a perfectionist. I explore everything. I died twice, so yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It just came this way. It's probably just a spec that was actually like this close to the camera for all I know. But yeah. So Frey, what was my favorite part of the Resident Evil 4 HD mod? Probably the Easter egg they put in there. Honestly, that was just so amazing. Other than that, maybe just seeing everything, just everything. Oh my gosh. The game now can be played today and you know can adequately be compared to most games graphics these days with that HD mod. Wi-Fi, your first Resident Evil game was Resident Evil 3. For me, it was the first game that I completed. Resident Evil 1 was my first game, but I never beat it I didn't beat it for years after I first started playing it. But I beat Resident Evil 3 first, then went back and beat Resident Evil 1. Yeah, that would be interesting if there was a noise with no explanation. But the scariest Resident Evil game, Frey. Um, the scariest. That's a. I've answered that before, and I want to say I've always went with Resident Evil 1. Probably the remake, actually. Yeah. But you know what? It's like. Now we got a lot of options, so let me really think about that. Yeah, Revelations one is kind of up there, but it's more atmospheric than scary, I'd say. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Resident Evil 1 Remake. It's the scariest Resident Evil game. Wi-Fi, what do I think about Resident Evil 6? In this Q&A alone, I've been asked about Resident Evil 6 a couple times, but it's thing I say about it the most is it's convoluted. There's a lot to take from it, almost too much. It's like all the four different scenarios all interconnecting is yeah, a lot to process. It's it's honestly my least favorite main series title Wi-Fi, unfortunately. It's on the bottom. Frey, are you the only one who finds the Resident Evil 1 remake not that scary? No, I'm sure you're not the only one. Just you don't. Which Resident Evil death scared me the most, Hellmaster? As in a surprise kill, or scary as Dr. Salvador giving Leon a good clean shave? The death that scared me the most probably getting acidized by the Novistador in Resident Evil 4. That was fucking brutal. Freaking exposed skull and everything. I wanted to see that actually in the HD mod when I played it, but I wasn't gonna kill myself over it. Frey, does being able to fight back against enemies in horror games make the game less scary? Oh yeah, it definitely does. It's like when you look at games like Fatal Frame, stuff like that. Ooh, man, yeah. Frey, does Resident Evil 4 still have the most brutal deaths in the franchise? Yeah, I'd still say so. It does. Freaking decapitation with a chainsaw, acidized by Novistador, crushed to death by the freaking El Gigante, or just eaten alive by the Del Lago. Yeah, there's a lot of brutal ones in there. Although Resident Evil 5 comes close with the freaking Duvalia when it just chomps you in half. Which Resident Evil game has the least brutal deaths? Outbreak. Outbreak. Easily. Or Gaiden. Wi-Fi, you just played Resident Evil Village. Hope you liked it, because Village is in my top 5. It's my number 4, actually. So my top 5 games in order from 1 to 5 are Resident Evil 2 OG, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 8 Village, and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Hey, Michael Fortesk, what's up, man? Made it to latter half of the Q&A. Still got 49 minutes. I know, I've realized there are some people who watch these Q&As that literally only say hi, and that's it, and don't ask a question. That's fine, I don't mind that, but I have noticed that over the years. Wi-Fi, yes, I like Village a lot. Frey, ever heard of Outlast? Oh yeah, I've seen gameplay of it. I know there's Outlast 2, but I personally have not played it, nor will play it. My throat's getting a little scratchy, even though I'm drinking water. I'm gonna get another bottle, actually. Who here just wants to hang out and play some video games? I'm very lonely in this house right now. Bray, no thank you. Wi-Fi, you don't like Resident Evil Village because it's in first person. I mean, okay, I understand some people really don't like first person. I get it because it's like I hate I I don't hate, but I dislike most first person shooters other than GoldenEye or any James Bond game basically, but yeah, if that's solely the reason you don't like it, I feel like you should give some other elements a fleeting chance, but it's just my opinion. I'm not going to judge you on that. Frey, you want to just hang out and play games? Yeah. Michael Fortesque, do I have any unpopular opinions about Resident Evil? Well, probably one of the more popular ones is, I think, Resident Evil 7 saved the franchise. Howmaster, it's a game you'll never play even though you knew what to do. Wi-Fi place. I know, right? Man, I can't wait until I get to the multiplayer games in the full play series because that's when I'm going to start finally bringing people back into videos, which is something I haven't done for years, really. It's like with Resident Evil 5 melee moves, and that was like 8 years ago. There are other ones too, like Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City and Resident Evil 6, of course, but yeah. Like sit up more. I have pretty bad posture these days because I'm always slumped like this. So I really should try to focus more. But I'm further from the microphone. I don't know how that sounds to you guys. Do I sound roomy when I'm like this far away from the microphone? Frey, was first person a mistake for Resident Evil 7 and 8, or was it a good choice? For you, you feel like for you, you don't mind as long as it's a good game, and 7 or 8 are damn good games. That's how I feel, man. It's like when it was first announced and revealed that it was going to be first person, my interest in it actually heightened because of that. Because I know first person, it's right up in your face, and it's happening almost 3D ish. So yeah, I think it was a great choice. Just a lot of people these days are so used to the over the shoulder. It's like that's why some people like bailed out on it. Bray, you'd love to play Resident Evil 5. I know. I say something like that, and then I am gonna claim I don't really play. I don't play in my own time barely anymore, other than Dead by Daylight, which was on PS4. But when Jen left, I had to switch over to PC. I do have it on Steam, which Dead by Daylight is cross-play anyway, so it doesn't matter what platform you're on, but I lost all my progress and pretty much had to start from scratch on Steam here. But I've gotten some progress in them. See, while there was this character named Ace who was my main on the PS4 version, I'm gonna make Leon, of course, my main on the Steam version. And once I get him leveled up and he really becomes my main, then it's possible I'll finally feature some Dead by Daylight on the channel. Even though that's against, my number one rule on the channel, only Resident Evil. Alright, Hellmaster. If I plan on playing Resident Evil 5 on PC and doing the melee moves there, even though there's a mod to have 4 players on Mercenaries. Ooh. It's a good question of what platform I'm gonna feature like 5 and 6 on. See, 4 now for sure with that HD mod, it is gonna be the Steam version that I play for the full play. But it would have been probably the Series X that I did those games. Because I have all 3 of those games, 4, 5, and 6 on Series X. Xbox. But I don't know. It's like I might ask people or do some research. It's like I want to play the most visually definitive versions possible. It's like that's how I explain the tetralogy, which nowadays are these HD mods. I haven't heard of any HD mods for Resident Evil 5 or 6 for that matter, because, you know, on the most modern consoles, they're up to 4K 60 frames per second, so I don't know if there would be any benefit from doing the PC Steam version over the console version. Unless y'all know something that I don't. See, the only reason 4 is now going to be Steam because it has the HD mod, which is not currently available for the console versions, which I know some people would love it to be. It's like that was even mentioned during the live stream. Oh, crap. My stomach's acting up. I hope I don't have to like pause the stream. That was a good topic. Silent Pain, is there any YouTuber I watched in the past that went off the deep end and became unwatchable for me personally? No, none that went off the deep end necessarily, like became crazy or something like that, but no, I've definitely unsubscribed from several channels in my YouTube career that just became boring. Or interestingly, I like channels that don't upload constantly. It's like if you're a channel that uploads something or two every single day, it's really hard to keep up with, in my opinion. And yeah, I've fallen out of a couple channels that were like that, interestingly enough, that uploaded something every single day and were really consistent. It's too much for me. So I like channels that are like my own, more or less, that upload only once a week, maybe, or once every 2 weeks, or more even. Because their content, because there's way less to get from them, each piece of content they deliver is really amazing, because they put a lot of time into it. That's how, of course, I prefer my sub base, which most of you are, awesomely. So... Frey, you wish you had Dead by Daylight, you'd play with... Yeah, Dead by Daylight is pretty much the only game most people would have a chance of playing with me if they wanted to. It's like, since I do my own account now on Steam, it is called Shankster94, and it's crossplay, I would just have to share my Dead by Daylight ID, basically, and then, yeah, I potentially could play. I just don't know when that would be. It would be more likely on the weekends, of course, since I have all day and I don't really have much to do if I don't already make plans. But other than that, it would be iffy if we ever... Yeah, I'm just not a gamer anymore. That's the problem. I don't like spending my free time just gaming all day. I'm a lazy ass bum. I prefer to watch TV or streaming services, you know. TV. That makes me think of cable, which I cut like 6 years ago. Alright, Frey, thoughts on the Series X? It's a badass console. I'm really glad I got my hands on one, because apparently it's still a problem to get one. But since I finally completed the Village weapon review and melee move showcase, I haven't touched it, actually. That's what happens to every Resident Evil game, like, since 7. Once I do my content on it, it starts gathering dust. I don't play Resident Evil in my own time. You would think I would, with my whole channel being about it, but I don't. It's because my channel is all about it, is I get plenty of it from doing my YouTube channel. And then outside of Resident Evil, yeah, I really don't game a whole lot anymore. Used to play Tekken and skate like crazy, but even that's fallen off the radar. What's the Resident Evil game that I've played the most, Frey? See, it's really hard. I can give you 3 games that I've played a lot and the most comparatively. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, that's the game I've played through the most amount of times out of any Resident Evil game. Like in terms of the story or the campaign, you could say. It's like 40 plus times easily. Resident Evil 4 is a close second, probably. I haven't played through the whole thing as many times as Resident Evil 3 because it's a lot longer, of course, but still 20 plus times for Resident Evil 4, probably. And then Resident Evil 5, I've put the most amount of hours into, meaning like I've booted up and I've played for hours at a time the most amount of times. Mercenaries Reunion specifically, played with my buddy Minutia Man. We got the number 2 spot on the leaderboard in the prison stage for duo Mercenaries Reunion. I don't know if that record still exists. I mean, it exists probably, but who knows? It's probably been passed up a long time ago. I would have to boot my 360 up and go back to those leaderboards to find out, which would be an easy task, but yeah, I'm just saying. So yeah, I put so many hours into 5, so I can't really distinguish like hours of gameplay versus the amount of times I played through the campaign. So it's hard to say which one's actually on top, but yeah. It's either 3 or 5. And funny enough, 2 is my favorite, so you would have thought it was 2, but it's only because I only got my hands on Resident Evil 2 like in 2004 or 5. I'm like not even joking. I'm not even sure if I played Resident Evil 2 before Resident Evil 4. I'm gonna be honest. I can't remember. It's so far back now, but yeah. I can't remember the order that I accumulated all the Resident Evil games, but it sure as hell wasn't in order of release date. It didn't get consistent like that until like Resident Evil 6, maybe. Okay. I was noticing something dangling right next to my head, but it's my chair. It's this thing on my chair. Bray, you share the same thoughts on YouTube channels as me. Awesome. Ever planning on getting a PS5 one day? Yeah, probably. Possibly. And why did I stop playing games that much? It's because my mindset and preference changed. I decided playing games, using up all my free time playing games wasn't worth it anymore. I'd rather watch movies or TV shows. And I don't want to put a really negative spin on my YouTube channel, but it's probably the ultimate reason why I stopped gaming regularly. It's because of YouTube. All right, how much time do we have? 33 minutes, so about 3/4 of the way through. Oh, I need to just do a discussion of a specific topic or something. Any movie, TV show that I've been watching recently? Yeah, The Good Doctor. It's my current favorite TV show. Yeah. Manu, what's up? You arrived real late because you were distracted with something. It's all good, man. It happens to all of us. I'm glad you can make it now. We got about 30 minutes left. Hellmaster, you just heard a loud boom. Ooh. Careful. How much am I liking The Good Doctor? I like it a lot. I like TV shows with the character with, a condition of some sort that, makes him unique amongst the general public. So yeah, the autism thing is kind of really interesting. Whoa, did you guys see that? That was a reflection of a vehicle, but yeah, that was crazy just to watch. Yeah. How would I rate it so far, Frey? Like an 8 out of 10. Think you're good, Hellmaster. The boom was loud. Hope it wasn't like a weapon of some sort. But yeah, at some point this year, easily, I'm gonna do another tier list. Keep thinking about it now. And I need to do another supercut of something too. It's like I did the headshot compilation, which was epic. It's like, what's another element in my videos that you guys know of that I should do a supercut of? I need some ideas. Frey, what's the best birthday I've ever had? Man, unfortunately, a lot of my birthdays aren't very memorable because I don't care to do much on my birthdays. And the last 5 birthdays in a row, I've worked on my birthday. But yeah, I would say it was my 21st birthday, which I'm gonna be turning 28 this year, so 7 years ago. A supercut. Uh, if in case you don't know what a supercut is, Frey, it's a compilation basically of a specific element within a series or franchise, and just showing that like in succession. Why was it the best, Frey? Well, at least in the U.S., your 21st birthday, you're of legal age to drink alcohol. So, yeah, had my first not tequila, but margarita. Yeah, had my first margarita, and it was good. It was strawberry daiquiri. Okay. Flamingo Sama, what's up? You know, Flamingo Sama is an awesome person because he it's like he did most of the work when he created the Discord server actually. And then it's like him, Manu, Feargale, and Hinata Tomoe like helped me like form it into what it is now. So yeah, that bunch, man, they're the best, and that's why they're all mods now. Hellmaster, maybe a rage compilation, but you don't think there's much of that. Same goes for deaths as happened in the Let's Plays. Yeah, a majority of my shenanigans now, of course, are in those full plays. And there's just so much of it already. It's like I have over 700 videos now, but more than half of that is because of the full plays. Because I decided to split them all up into parts, which is a good strategy for view count. But yeah. But yeah, rage compilation would be kind of interesting. My number one rage moment for sure is in Code Veronica. It's like it was in the second playthrough, I think. A sweeper blocked the door after I got one of the chemical elements. And yeah, my rage level, as I depicted in the video, went over 9,000! I don't watch Dragon Ball, but I do know that reference. Silent Pain, you've noticed that when you've read reviews of Resident Evil 5 and 6, they tend to criticize the excessive action elements of those games, but they refuse to criticize Resident Evil 4 for popularizing those elements. Why is that? I know, I get it, and that's why I don't... When I talk about Resident Evil 4, I always say it ultimately sent the series in that downhill direction with the action elements and whatnot. And I still, I give it a 1 point down because of that, always. But I don't know, it just, because it was the precursor to it, 5 is the one I regard as the one that really put it in the pit, because it capitalized on the action. Resident Evil 4 didn't capitalize on the action, but 5 and parts of 6 surely did. And that's why they get the slack and 4 doesn't. That's what I think. Manu, you're honestly kind of drawing a blank on things to ask. Your brain is kind of fried. I get it, and that's a minor but real reason why these Q&As are ending, because I feel like people are running out of questions to ask me. I've been doing it for 5 years, even though once the weeklies end, it became way less, but still. Kudos for all the Discord server. I know it's one of the best things that's happened to me recently. It's that Discord server. And with that, and getting into Twitter more as the other thing. Hey, Wolf Gaming. Nice to see you here. It's going good. We're definitely in the last quarter of the Q&A. About 25 minutes left. Yeah, Hellmaster, that's it. I can't... My throat hurts now, so I can't really imitate what I sounded like, but I'll do my best. It's like, will you go... Like, I'm trying... I feel like my voice is going to break if I try to do it at the pitch I did. But, will you go through the fucking door? It wasn't that pitch specifically, but it was similar. Yeah. Because, yeah, I was using my full voice there. My voice bellowed right there. Yeah, Frey, that's the point. Code Veronica. I don't remember which... I want to say it's the part with the thumbnail as a sweeper just coming out of a vent or something like that. I want to say that. Manu, I guess you'll just chill in here, and if you come up with something, you'll ask. Okay. Flamingo, if I could change or remove one thing about Village, what would it be? You're finally starting Village of Shadows, and you really hate the fact that they are just bullet sponges, especially for the first horde. Yeah. Change or remove one thing about Village, what would it be? Man, that's a tough one. Okay, changed its the fact that currently when you get the next weapon in a class of its class, it completely tops the previous weapon. So like the Lemmy to the M1911 and then to the V61, they're all almost in all statistics they're better than the previous one. Almost. I mean, I know the M1911 probably has... No, even the V61 does better firing speed. But, yeah. I would change that. It's like, not make every next weapon completely topping the previous one. Because that lost the sense of variety, in my opinion. To where you had choices, you know? It was the obvious choice that you needed to go with the later weapon. In that case, that's what I would change. So where it's not like that. It's more like 4, where there was a variety of weapons in each class, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. That wasn't really present in Village, in my opinion. Frey, there's been so many, it's not hard to repeat questions. It's hard not to repeat questions. I know that, which is why... From the very beginning, I knew this was going to be a possibility, so I don't mind if questions are re-asked, even though I know for a fact it's been asked before, but possibly not by the same person. Now, if it is the same person, I'm not going to remember that, so it doesn't matter. Hellmaster, would I go for firepower over fire rate or vice versa? I go for firepower over fire rate. Firepower is my statistic of choice, which is why I prefer the red 9 over the blacktail in Resident Evil 4. Because that firepower is unmatched when you fully upgrade the red 9. Manu, agreed on the village weapons issue. Also, you'd like to make the rocket pistol a real rocket-like weapon. Okay, that is another good one. That fucking rocket pistol was a smack to the face. It should have been a full-fledged rocket launcher, honestly. Why don't they like rocket launchers anymore? I mean, Resident Evil 2 Remake and 3 Remake brought it back, of course, because you had to, but like every game since 6, mainline, hasn't really had a rocket launcher. The numbered titles, 6, 7, and 8, don't have rocket launchers. Like, full-fledged ones, anyway. Hellmaster, you think there was a voice crack in the original, but you don't know. When I recall it, I don't think my voice cracked. I just, it was really loud. It distorted maybe a little bit. Manu, imagine rewatching every Q&A ever and taking a drink on every repeat question ever. Oh, good lord, yeah, I'd be dead. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, a monstrous chunk of the monthlies are gone because of Wyatt Chartrash, but yeah. What? Wolf Gaming, you got the Resident Evil 2 Remake game from GameStop, and you finish it with Claire with A rank and Leon's second one with a B rank. Nice. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 Remake, even though it's my second favorite game of the franchise now, I haven't played it since the weapon review was completed. I really need to get back into it. Even though the rocket pistol is a real weapon. That is true. That exact model gun is a real weapon, interestingly enough. Yeah, Frey, it's like he literally only harasses me now on YouTube, my main platform, of course, when I do a live stream, because super chats were his thing, I guess. But hey, it's free money, so I welcome that. He doesn't just casually comment anymore at all. It's literally only super chats that he does. With that, of course, I would like to just start forgetting about him entirely. It's what needs to happen. We need to move on, all of us. So one day that channel in Discord is going to be gone. Silent Pain, in my opinion, is there any game in the Resident Evil series that is so difficult for whatever reason that it's just not fun to play at all? In the Resident Evil series, that is so difficult that's not fun at all. Honestly, every Resident Evil game is fun to an extent, so it's really hard to say. In terms of difficulty, not really, honestly. Not for me. I mean, Revelations was pretty difficult near the end with T-Abyss and everything, but I still got a lot of fun out of it, and I still do. So no, in my opinion, there is no game that is so difficult for any reason that it's just not fun to play at all. One of the only games that wasn't fun was Survivor 2, but it wasn't because it was difficult. It was because it was an arcade-style game lacking any plot device. Yeah, Frey, I will just continue doing that. Because who the hell does that? Other than a disturbed person. Because he clearly doesn't support me in any endeavor, so I don't know why he keeps giving me money. He just wants his comment to be seen. He's a narcissist. Control freak, you know? Manu, good thing we avoided a rage moment on Resident Evil 2 stream when I forgot to bring a heal to the Mr. X fight. That would have been the worst. Yeah, it probably would have been. I know. It was really close. Wolf Gaming, the only thing that almost got rage is you keep dying by G3 and the Super Tyrant. Yeah, they are pretty tough. Speaking of Mr. X, Hellmaster, you got one recording on your Xbox you'll have to show. Bray, you remember when I raged in my first playthrough of 2-Make on the G3 fight? Yeah. I need to revisit those blind streams, man. Manu, that fight is rough. Alright. I'm down to the last 8th of the Q&A, about 15 minutes. And yeah, I'm keeping up with this, no problem. Don't need no slow mode here. See with that stupid sea of blue? I keep saying it. So yeah, I definitely, again, that Tetralogy stream was the funnest thing I've done in a while on this channel, and I want to do more streams like that, where I'm playing like a series of games like throughout the day that are like in their own little cup, you know. So another good way to do that would be to include Code Veronica Remake and Zero, something like that. Hey, Hinata Tomoe! Glad you can make it in the last 15 minutes or so. Yeah, after this Q&A, I really don't have any huge plans, so I could hop in the Discord server and maybe we can converse. It's like whoever's still here might want to do that, you know? Maybe I'll play some Resident Evil 1 and start preparing for the remastered weapon review for it. And I'll stream it. Frey, you're currently trying to find that rage moment in Code Veronica. You'll find it. If you just scroll over the timeline, find the area where I'm playing as Chris, and it's like there's a sweeper, and you'll see like red and white text that says rage level, you know, something like that. That's what you gotta look for. Wolf Gaming, well, at least you know you can use a first aid spray. It won't affect your rank. Yeah, I'm glad they dropped that whole thing. It's the whole reason I avoid first aid sprays like the plague in a lot of games I play, because it did put a ding on your rank for a lot of the games. Yeah. For most of the classic ones, anyway. See, Manu, I can forgive you because you're doing it as a joke. But, yeah, Wyatt was doing it purposely and maliciously, so. When you first heard of blind playthrough, you thought it meant people are blindfolded when they play the game like that. Hellmaster, what's funny is I thought literally the same thing for a little while when I first got into YouTube and gameplay videos and started seeing that term used. I thought the same thing, but no, later I realized it meant, okay, your very first playthrough, so you have no idea what to expect. So, yeah. Yeah. Now that Wyatt's out of the picture, next new game that drops and the blind playthrough stream that happens will be a lot funner because there won't be any excruciating control on like spoiler reveals and whatnot. I'm just gonna play casually. I'm still gonna ask for no spoilers, but backseating won't be banned, and I will take tips. It's fine. I'm casually playing a game, and who cares if something small was revealed? If it's like to help me play the game, that's different from spoiling. What I don't like is people spoiling story elements. It's like if someone told me that Ethan dies at the end, okay, that's a huge spoiler. It's like, fuck you, damn it. But no, if they say, hey, there's some handgun ammo ahead or something like that, I was like, oh, sick. Thank you. You just helped me out. It's going to make it easier. See, that wasn't a bad thing. See, the reason why Wyatt was so strong in that, because he loved to see me fail. That's always been a bad quality about him. Freddy, you just found it. Yep. Doing fine, Hinata. Yeah, feeling pretty nice right now. Alright, Silent Pain, I see you had to go do some chores. Manu, would I ever attempt to full play a Resident Evil game actually blindfolded for the hell of it? Maybe. Yeah, Claire, it wouldn't make it very far. It's like it would be one of the classic trilogy games, of course, but that's still tough. Honestly, yeah, Resident Evil 1 might be the game I try to do something like that on. The OG. Manu. Spoiler for Resident Evil 9. A BOW dies. Oh, damn it, Manu. Now it's all spoilered. I'm not gonna fucking enjoy the game as much now. Damn it. I'm just looking at Nene, the cat. Come here. Yeah. There you go. I should liven the chat up a little bit. Oh, you're gonna leave. Okay. Hellmaster, if you were to be spoiled, like say Ethan dies at the end, wouldn't think of that as a spoiler that much. The one thing you'd be curious about was how he'd die and how his final words would be. Huh. Hinata, of what I know of File 2, very hard mode, which scenario am I worried about? Probably either Desperate Times or End of the Road. Yeah. Especially with how you're describing and how you're struggling with Desperate Times. Manu, how about any of the other known challenge runs across the Resident Evil titles? Knife only, no damage, no merchant for Resident Evil 4. Not necessarily for YouTube or anything, just for fun. Yeah, I always think about stuff like that, Manu, but to be perfectly honest, I'm never likely to begin something like that. It's just not my style, really. Like, I've done other things more like I've done handgun only runs. I've went through a lot of the classic games with every weapon in the game alone. That would be more likely, but knife only is something I'm really not a fan of, other than possibly Code Veronica and maybe OG1. But yeah, no damage, on the other hand, would be more feasible for me, especially with the classic games. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. The classic games are the easiest games to do like little mini challenges like that for me, because I know those games so freaking well, as you saw in the Tetralogy streams. And other live streams of them for that matter. The original Trilogy stream that I did for 10K subscribers also depicts it pretty well. Hellmaster, has any of the cats meowed or purred on stream or in any of my vids in the past? I don't know. It's like it's like anytime I try to put them here on the stream, they just, they scurry off or something like that. So I can't honestly say so. I would love it though if she did purr right into the microphone, like ASMR style, but no, that's not likely to happen. She doesn't purr that much, honestly. And yeah, the other two cats, of course, are gone because they were gens. Wolf Gaming, it was cool that I dressed up as Wesker for Halloween. Yeah, kinda. I mean, it wasn't a full-fledged outfit cosplay or anything like that. All I did was spike my hair back, or slick it, and had shades on. That's all I did. And I bet I wore a black shirt, so it was kind of close. I looked more like Johnny Bravo than Wesker, to be honest. I know cosplay is something, man, that I full-fledged want to do at least once with one of the Resident Evil characters. Do a full outfit, everything. I just don't know who I would do good as, though. Maybe Steve, or like possibly, with my current hairstyle these days, there's not a whole lot of characters I could do good as. Manu, you mean, yeah, you get those. Personally enjoy doing challenge runs just for entertainment. Might have noticed that you got a bit of an obsession with them sometimes. Way to get replay value. That is true. So I understand that. Manu, you'd still love to see ASMR me someday. Like, doing what? What could I possibly do ASMR style? Aaron Williams. Oh, yeah. Still about 4 minutes left, though. So get them in now. I could cosplay Chris or Leon. Yeah, I might be able to do Chris with this hairstyle, actually. But it's like if I darkened my facial hair a bit and my head hair. Whisper my intro into the mic. All right. What up, it's Shankster94, and welcome to this Q&A. I don't know how good that was. I probably would need to up it even more to really get the feel, but headshot. All right. Yeah, imagine I did a whole video just like that. That would be an ASMR piece of content right there. Frey, have I ever dyed my hair? Yes, I have. Another Halloween, like a few more ago, like four Halloweens ago, I think. 4 or 5 Halloweens ago, I did Beast from X-Men. And yeah, it's like my whole body was blue as well as my hair. So yeah. You can only find that on my personal Facebook page. I can share that I can share that in the Discord server though. Aaron Williams, bet fun fact Resident Evil 2 remake, but most likely notice it, but the C. What the heck happened with that one? Manu, yeah, you'd say Chris cosplay would be cool on me. How about the classic Chris, but not be too bulky? Yeah, that would be more likely. Like his Code Veronica form or something. Yeah, I personally think he's the skinniest in Code Veronica. It's like even Resident Evil 1 OG, he had some muscle, I think. And remake for that matter, but Code Veronica, he kind of looks like a twig. Aaron Williams, color of the Magnum changed from black to white or silver. In an update, you think they did because Capcom thought it would be easier to make an airsoft replica of it. Sorry for the cutoff. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. Manu, if you ever cosplayed, Leon would be on your list, especially his RE6 outfit with the leather jacket. That's your favorite. Gotcha. Best Wesker quote, Aaron Williams.
Headshot.
Ooh. Got a $10 super chat from Titty Blaster 69, also known as Anthony Usury. What's up? Hearing that ASMR stuff was hilarious. Also, you made it in question. What new guns would I like to see in the Resident Evil franchise? I still want to see a freaking FN 2000 make it into the franchise. Also, Walther PPK pistol would be also interesting. Okay, but now back to Aaron's question. Best Wesker quote. It's definitely in Resident Evil 5 somewhere because he has some of the corniest but coolest lines at the same time. Oh, okay. That's loud, but that is the timer going off, so that's the end of questions. Last question I'm going to answer. Let me just make sure it's actually the last one. Is Aaron Williams best Resident Evil game in your opinion? Okay. That's going to be a very easy one to answer, but yeah. Okay, so yeah, very small catch-up period right here. Let's go. Aaron, okay. It's in Resident Evil 5. I want to say where he... with the wheat comment when you're fighting him in the missile hangar or something like that. It's everything else is just so much chaff. Something like that. So I have to separate this chaff from the wheat. It's that whole dialogue right there, basically. Alright, Hinata, in all honesty, very hard desperate times has really hurt your morale for playing File 2. You mean you'll beat it eventually, but it doesn't make any demoralizing. Any less demoralizing. Yeah, I can understand that. Oh my gosh. He got buffed to beat Wesker. Yeah, Chris. Hellmaster, you can imagine someone making an OG RE1 Chris Polygon model and wear it for Halloween. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Frey, PRL returned from the future. That would be awesome. I would love to see the PRL 412 come back. But see, because it was made specifically for Plagas, that's why it's only in Resident Evil 4. It's like you can't really bring it back for any other Resident Evil game unless it's 4 again, which... if they do the remake, they better bring back the PRL in some capacity, even if it's miniaturized or something like that. I want something. All right, Aaron Williams. Last question of the Q&A. Best Resident Evil game, in my opinion, is Resident Evil 2 OG. Easy. All right. Well, that is going to end this month's Q&A, people. Hope you enjoyed. It was a little slow going, but they tend to be here and there, so it's nothing new. We have only 2 Q&As left, April's and May's. I'm not planning really anything special anymore. I'm not gonna do a special theme or anything for April. It's just going to be a casual Q&A, possibly featuring Feargale. So yeah. And then, of course, May's Q&A is going to be epic. That one is going to be special because it's going to be the final Q&A ever, and it's going to feature my entire Discord server, whoever's in during the 5-hour period it's going. So yeah, look forward to that. And look forward to, of course, the continuation of the Outbreak full play, because I definitely have the next episode recorded. It's just editing, of course. So yeah, it'll be out somewhat soon. So look forward to it. Alright guys, this is Shankster94, aka The Gamer Shankster. Rate, comment, subscribe. Follow me on social media, all down there below. You know, something I noticed is I put my Discord username, but not the server. So I don't know what that does. I mean, people can use that to friend me on Discord, but that doesn't get them to the server. So I need to change that up for like the next time I do a Q&A or something. But otherwise, yeah, follow me on social media down there. And I'll see you guys later in future content. Peace out.